My name is Tiffany Flunnery Debolo, and I am not a native of Asheville, but I moved here about 25 years ago from Brooklyn, New York. Yes, give it up, Brooklyn, the concrete jungle. So coming from the concrete jungle, I didn't have a closeness to nature as I thought once I moved here to Asheville back in the 90s. But what tripped me up is the reality that hiking hurts and camping is scary. But I was able to meet amazing people to challenge myself in such a healthy way to get out there anyway. So this is my first time actually telling a story. I'm a thespian by nature. From middle school, I've always wanted to be an actress, and I've done some off Broadway work. So now this is just a different flair and flavor that I wanted to invite you into my world and lived experience as a little old black girl on top of a mountain. So long, long, long ago, in the cradle and bosom of my mother, we actually lived in the projects, which felt like a prison and literal concrete jungle. However, I was like a rose in this concrete jungle. So no matter where we were, I found crab apples, I found all types of weeds, and even the sticky things that would cut you on your leg and stick to your socks. I don't even know the name, but I knew that was nature. Shortly after, I grew up and moved to Asheville and just fell in love with these mountains and just the amazing, massive, huge boulders that was here before humanity. And I was like, wow, every time I walk through nature, it's like I'm actually reconnecting to my ancestors. We know the story. It's not a great story, but it is a real one. And so when I'm in nature, I feel that connection to my ancestors, and it makes me want to be out there until the spiders and the bugs and who actually live out there tell me it's time for me to go. So I've been afraid for a long time, and I thought I was really brave and bold, and I took the feat of claiming I'm a hiker, so I'm out there hiking Lake Powhatan, the Arboretum. But what was interesting is that I was invited to do an excursion out in the wilderness for educators. So if you're an educator in here, raise your hand, or have ever been, or work with young people, so you know the passion in volunteering your life. I totally volunteered my life in 30 days with Outward Bound. Let's snap it up, changed my life. How many of you guys here know Gordo? Okay, yes. So that was my first time actually being out in the wilderness and living off the land and like being really connected to what I believe to be true, which is the preserving of our environment. But I had no idea that I would have to carry 30 to 50 pounds on my back. I had no idea I had to walk up a mountain, not just hike, but walk up. And I didn't know that there was also people behind me, and we carried our bathrooms, we carried our kitchen, and we also carried our bedroom. I was flabbergasted, and I thought that I am going to fall on the side of this mountain. But the one thing that kept me going was the team that I was with. And I knew that they weren't going to leave me behind, and they were not going to let me go. So I brought props. So I had no idea that these really supported my anchorage as far as walking up with a backpack on my back and going directly straight up a mountain. I thought it was physically impossible. However, and I want you to repeat after me, as I was going up the mountain, holding my trekkers, and I kept saying, I'm gonna make it. So repeat after me, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. And I made it. Day one. We slept outside every day, no cabin, had no idea about that. Then it was leave no trace. We don't even have food. How am I gonna leave a trace? But what I understood was the fact that we're out there, we're together, but we're also together in nature. So there was an intersectionality that I felt between myself coming from a concrete jungle and being out there in nature and having full trust and vulnerability. I cried every day for 30 days. And I kept feeling, I can't do this because I'm Black. Black people don't do this. My colleague said, I'm white and I've never done it either. I realized then that I was not alone. But I tell you, it was the best time ever. The individuals that I went with were local. So for 10 years, we all pretty much worked at Asheville Middle School or the local schools out here, which made it even more intimate. But long story short, I learned how to trust again, how to be brave again. There was a piece where we had to do solo camping, and the one thing they encouraged you to do was maybe you might want to take your watch off. I said, there's no way, because 24 hours, however long I'm out here, I'm looking at the time. That was the first time I ever slept outdoors without a roof because I didn't listen to the directions and learn how to put my tent up properly. But I was connected. And this is funny, but I connected to the spiders. And I didn't kill them. I said, you know what? This is not my home. This is actually your home. I'm just here spending the night. So can you just please leave me alone so I could just spend the night for the night? And I kid you not, it felt like they just totally felt my energy and left me alone. So yeah, it's being in nature is something now that I just do all the time, and I stay with my hiking poles because you just never know what hill you might have to get over. So challenge yourself in a healthy way. Take some people of color out in the wilderness, because I'm telling you, just that experience alone, that one time, even though it was a very long time, that one time changed my trajectory and the trajectory of my children. And so now I have a 4-year-old granddaughter. Her name is Penelope. Say, hey, Penelope. Hey, Penelope. That's my heart. But now she asked to go camping. She wants to go hiking. She wants to go to the wilderness and fishing. So it's just a beautiful thing to try something new, even though it may seem scary. There's always somebody out there with you, and you're never alone. Thank you.